DeSilvis, I know it's early, but I didn't get a blog in yesterday, so we'll get this in early, and then we'll do another one later on today when I get back up sometime during the day after I get a break from doing some computer work. Did you know the NSA has ordered surveillance on all phone carriers? It was just carried out this week, and they're still doing it, and they've probably been doing it for quite some time, and we're just now hearing about it is really what probably the truth is. So a whistleblower has blown the cover from Verizon, but to tell you the truth, I think the NSA has been surveillancing on every phone carrier, every type in America, because they're, when you got a criminal government with criminals working in it that are bad people, they're going to surveillance every phone carrier. They're going to get all your phone numbers and get all your conversations and everything. And even though they say they're not listening on your phone calls, I don't believe it. Because our government's been lying to us for quite some time. When they say something that they're not doing, I would not put it past that they are. And another thing, since they're doing all this stuff, don't you think that ought to make you want to wake up and make you want to start voting and start do legal process against these people to stop this stuff, to fight this stuff, so that you won't have your lives be traded for tyranny, for security? Because when you trade your lives for tyranny and for security, it never usually works. You're actually better off being free than you are being under tyranny. Trust me on that. Because if you look in history, it's repeated itself. Now, this article that I'm citing about the NSA, talk about Verizon, I think they've done this on all platforms, not just wireless, but satellite phones too. Even though they have encryption, they can break that stuff now. The technology is here and it's available. They can break that stuff. I can guarantee you that. I've seen it. I've seen the software. They have it already. They've had it for several years now. They can break through your phone lines, your landlines at home, like through any carrier. So I'm sure the NSA has probably been surveilling all carriers, not just Verizon. So don't just believe that Verizon, did this or allowed this. No, the government just did it without a warrant, which is illegal. But they went ahead and did this with every company. So why not believe that they just did it only with Verizon? I do not believe that they did it with over 40 million customers in the nation. I think they did it with every carrier. It's just they're only trying to single out Verizon. And they'll probably say something about other carriers so people will leave them. But the truth is, the matter is they're doing it with every company, every phone, every data company that does phone calls, not just Verizon. And a whistleblower brought that to light, so we need to pray for the safety of that person. It was reported in the New York Times, it was reported in the Herald, it was reported even on CNN, and even on regular news has picked it up, talking about it. And it's like they're going after Verizon to try to cause a run, but I'm sure all companies, the government has been doing this without our knowledge. I'm sure it's not just Verizon, even though it leaked out from Verizon, from somebody that works there, but I'm sure every company's got the same order and had the same thing done to them over the last 10 years or more. This ain't nothing new or just recently happening, folks. By the time we hear about it, it's been already happening for several years. So don't believe that it's just happening, because I believe they've been doing it for quite some time. Because we live in a state we're under constant surveillance, a lot more now than we were, say, 20 years ago. And, and the only way it's going to stop is if people rise up and vote these people out with their voting and with legal process and with lawsuits and with changing the laws that take that power away from our government. That's how it stops people. That's how we remember, we're the people. We are the people. That's what the Constitution says. That's how it starts off. When you read the Constitution, it starts, we are the people. Well, the people are what to put the government in power. Well, we're the people that can take the government out of power. And that's by getting legislation put together that can go against these people to stop them. And stopping executive orders, where Obama can have a bonanza with executive powers like he's been doing. You stop that. Block it. Stop it. You shut down this Obamacare. Abomination care is what I call it, because it's going to make everybody broke in this country. You won't be able to afford basic medical care. And the quality of medical care will, in the next decade, will go down if this comes to pass. We have to stop this, folks. We cannot have Obamacare. It's horrible. We cannot have it. It's better to leave it the way it is, because things are a lot better in the current state that our medical system is in without Obamacare. But when that's fully implemented, you will not be able to afford to have even your basic, just to go get a shot. It'll be so high. And I'm serious, folks, because everywhere else where they have done this, like in Europe and in Canada, they don't pay any taxes. But boy, when they go get a procedure done, it's high as all get out, a lot higher. We think our bills are high right now. Well, just wait when Obamacare fully goes into power. When it fully goes into effect, and that bill really goes into effect nationwide, it's going to be a lot worse than it is now. You think it's high now? You haven't seen high yet. So that's why we need to stop it all the more and not allow it every buck of the way in all 50 states. And the same thing goes with gun control. We say no against that. And any other things. And all the surveillance stuff, we need to shut all these down. We need to shut all these centers down that they say that don't exist. In Utah and Tennessee and Georgia and in California and even in the middle of the country too where they have them. We need to have those things, turn the money off for those things and shut them down. We don't need to be under a spy group. You got criminals that work in the government, because not all people in the government, like I've said, are not criminals, but you have people in there that are doing these things. If they can do it abroad in other countries, well, they're doing it here domestically where we live in America too. So that's something to think about, folks. So we need to step up to the plate as Americans and stop this, folks. We really, seriously have to do this. Because we don't, our freedoms will be totally gone. G-O-N-E, do you understand? I hope you understand me, I really do. We got to wake up and do this all together. Can't have this. Can't allow it. You like your children being groped in the port and have them taking your children in a room and them looking at your children in their privates and feeling inside their privates and feeling in your privates when you go to the airport or when you get on a bus, and maybe even soon when you go to the store to get your groceries. Hasn't happened yet, but it will. Checkpoints will go up all over America. They're in a lot of places in America already. They will be coming here in Virginia too, if we do not say or stop it. We said, how much does it have to go before it gets too much? Do you have to lose your job? Because they're already taking a lot of jobs out of this country. They've been doing that for the last 20, 30 years. And now it's getting a lot worse, where a lot of jobs and competition is being taken out because it's all being done overseas. So all the domestic work and opportunities are gone because they've been outsourced to all these other countries. Don't you see, folks, what's going on here? This is really going on right before our eyes, right in plain sight. So if you don't like it, you got to vote at the polls, and you got to get these people out of office, and you got to fight with the legal process, and we got to shut all this stuff down. That's the only way we're going to be able to cripple this government and stop it, without going to a full-out blowing war with guns and weapons and artillery. That's the last resort. We don't want to do that. But what we want to do is we want to do it every way we can legally. That's how we need to approach this thing. We need to get all the people in government. We'll start with Obama, Clinton, Bush Sr. and Jr., and any other people, Carter, McCain, all these people. They need to be indicted, they need to be impeached, and need to be arrested if they need to be, because I know a lot of them will be arrested for the crimes they've done, war crimes and other crimes that they've done that we don't even know about. Cheney, all of them. Biden, all of them. They need to be brought up on charges. And see, when you got people doing this and you got half the government that being brought off with bribes, they've been sworn in as a part of being sworn in. They're not supposed to take bribes of any kind. But you see in Washington, it's been going on for, 4 decades, probably 4 decades. Probably more than that. It's been going on probably since Nixon. So, bribes have been, been going on. They've been alive and well in Washington. But, when I read the code about being an officer, it said one of the things in there in the creed, when you do the oath before Congress, before you're sworn in, they say you're not supposed to take any type of bribes. But that's not true, because they do take them. So, we need to vote at the polls more and more than ever. Remember, we have an election coming up. We have an election coming up next Tuesday, so make sure you vote, or Wednesday, for, I don't know who it is, but I know it's here in Virginia. We need to vote. It's not a presidential, but it is for, they had it on last night, so it's next week. So make sure you go and vote in your districts and vote for the right one. They say he doesn't have a contender, so, it's going to be an easy election for him, because there's nobody to run against him, which is really weird. But anyway, you know, if you don't like them, don't vote for them. If you like them, then vote for them. You know, and you know, but get involved. You know, get involved in community meetings. You know, get involved any way you can. You go to a meeting if they're saying things you don't agree with, go there with a group. Don't go by yourself. And you go in there and disrupt that meeting. And you organize. And you go in there secretly. You don't go in there all together, sitting together. You all kind of stay spread out all over the room. Well, that's what you want to do. And then when you go in there and they start telling stuff, then you start saying stuff, you know, to ask questions to kind of interrupt and kind of get them off of what they're talking about. And they can't arrest you. I mean, they can threaten you, but they can't arrest you. They tell you to leave. Well, you just keep talking, and then you have to leave, then you leave. But they really can't arrest you for speaking your mind, even though they may threaten you with that, because they always usually do at these meetings. But the right way to do is to organize and don't go in there all together. Just go in there separate and show up at all separate times, so it don't look obvious that you all are a group or with some type of organization. But go in there and try to get all the information. You go in there and try to kind of cause some kind of confusion and ask a bunch of questions to try to disrupt it. And, you know, and let your voices be heard. Say, I don't approve of this. I don't want this in my town or country or county. You know, I don't want this in my state, wherever you live. You know, and speak and be more vocal about it. You know, maybe organize protests that are peaceful with signs and with bullhorns, you know. Get up there and say, I don't want this no more. You know, with your big bullhorns, you know. And do that, and, you know, and talk and have a speech together and organize it and do it all peacefully. There's nothing wrong with that. And what I'm saying is not wrong, because you can do that, because how do we change is with our minds, with ideas. And how do we overthrow the system that we have? It's by doing things like this. That's what we have to do, because that's what keeps America free. For now, I'm going to go. This is my blog for May the 6th, 2013. So Michael for now. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you later on today with another blog.